Alright, what's up guys? I just wanted to do a quick video talking about my Spark Bloodmage build for patch 0.4 in PoE2. I'm not an expert on PoE2 at all, I'm a bit of a tourist still, but this game's really brought me in since Rise of the Abyssal. So I've been playing Bloodmage since then, and basically all I've done is, rather than following strictly to someone else's guide, is I've kind of taken pointers from other people and tried to learn the game mechanics and how to sort of progress in itself. So what I'll do is I'll hover over all my abilities and my items, and then I'll quickly go over the passive tree. So most of my DPS is coming from Spark, and the main thing is having Pierce, projectile acceleration, rapid casting, to lose bloodletting, and zenith. And then that also works well with lightning bolt, which has cooldown recovery, concentrated area, deliberation, and zenith. And that skill comes from this necklace, which allocates us the lightning bolt skill. So what I've done is I've gone for a high roll on lightning resist here, which then gets me well above the cap for lightning resist, and then I don't have to worry about lightning resist from anywhere else. And on top of that, we then use cast on critical. Cast on critical has Comet, it has boundless energy, concentrated area, life tap, and zenith 1. And we use frost bomb with overabundance, compressed duration, point exposure, spell echo, and cooldown recovery. We actually get fire infusions from Frostbomb. That way we can infuse our Comet, and we do that with a passive point we'll go over shortly. And then we have Orb of Storms, which uses concentrated casting, Rising Tempest, Overabundance, Harmonic Resonance 2, and Efficiency 2. And this actually generates cold infusions using the same point that we'll talk about shortly. We use Elemental Weakness on the bosses, and we also use Sigil of Power. I have two staffs on right now, and I'll go over that shortly. The back bar is what we cast Sigil of Power. The front one, we don't really use that, that goes away. We also use Life Remnants with Harmonic Resonance 1, Remnant Potency 1, and Katal's Rejuvenation, which gives us better cooldowns for pretty much everything in the game. This was something I actually learned from another video. His Bloodmage guides really helped me early on. So this is what I mean. You can take kind of things from everyone's different builds and kind of put your own together. So there's a few reasons to do that. The main reason is it's going to be cheaper to buy gear that's specific to your build. You're not relying on the same gear that thousands of other people are using, and then the price of those pieces of gear goes up, and I'll go over that shortly. Beyond that, we use, actually we don't even use these are just for some other builds I was trying to mess with, so just ignore those. In terms of gear, we've got a Charming Staff here. This was probably my most expensive piece of gear so far. It's +7, I know you can get +8, but just use a Charming Staff. Wands suck this patch, they're just not good. I tried a lot of different setups with wands and focus, and even the focus that gives you more spell damage based on your life, I forget what it's called. I think I might have sold it. Oh no, here. So the Wrath Pit Globe. So it's great focus last patch, but this patch the cost is too high, so it's just not performing very well. Focus was almost like a 40% increase. So my spell damage on my Spark my DPS on my Spark went from like 23k to like 39k just swapping to a staff. I have one really good ring here that's got cast speed, rarity, and all resistances, and I'm gonna mirror this when I can afford to buy it. I could buy it now, but I haven't yet. And then being a Blood Mage, we get the passives of Life Leech. So 10% of Life Leech's spells, base crit is 15%, and we go all the way down here to get the Energy Shield on equipped body armor, and that also gives us life over 4 seconds. And then along with that, we use the Molded Mitts as at Ziri's Acuity, which gives us Life Leech instantly for critical hits. And on this one, this is where you can start to spend more money. I ran a set of these gloves that were like 10x for the longest time. I actually only updated them today to a higher crit chance, and I could go even higher. But what I did here is I looked for one that specifically had the penetration for lightning resistance, just because that's another potential DPS update. From there, we've got some really good boots with movement speed, obviously, and you'll notice a pattern here that I'm running a lot of life regen, life regen, life regen, life regen. This one doesn't because it's going to get changed, but this one's just cast speed rarity for now. It's just something I had. We run crit hit chance and try to get the rest of our resistances capped here, and then something I use as well is a flask that gives 30% of recovery instantly. And that just allows us to kind of get going straight away. We can pop a couple of flasks and get our life pool coming back up. And that stacks well with some of the passives that I'll go over now. So here's the tree. I'll kind of quickly go through a view of it just so you can see where we are, and then I'll hover over the focus points to really focus in on those. So we obviously use Undying Hate with Tech Rod. This gives us life back for the cost of skills. This does scale with Wrathpit Globe, but again, the cost was just way too high. I found I'd get 3 or 4 casts off and I'd be out of life and I'd just die, I'd fall over. So getting rid of that Wrathpit Globe, running this gives me life back, and then having the stack on the life regen also helps. There's a couple of other like survival things we take. We take this for the extra energy shield, which gets us up to nearly 3k energy shield. And then with the life, we also run over here to Sanguimancy Rituals, which gives us life regen on Arcane Surge, and we take this for Arcane Surge with increased effect. This procs almost all the time. It's like a 10% chance, but I almost always have the orb for Arcane Surge. Up here we take this just because it's another one that pops off of this jewel, which has got energy shield, crit hit chance, and again max life on kill. And then down here we take the crit damage bonus, and we take this for recovering our energy shield when our life is full. This is for our infusions, so fire will give us, lightning will give us fire, cold will give us lightning, and fire will give us cold. So that's how we proc all of our infusions for Spark and Comet. We obviously take all the crit passives. We're taking a little bit of energy shield down here, and I take this one just because it's kind of a cast speed boost and damage boost here. And then for our weapon set skills, we take a lot of these crit ones for the front bar, and here for the front bar, and then for the back bar we take like mana cost efficiency and exposure, and also sizes of our area damage and stuff like that, which basically just means that we get massive debuffs and buffs, and this just gives us more room to move around in when we're playing. And the reason we take the reduced cost of mana is because we are still using our mana. We haven't gone all the way down here yet, and we might go down to Blood Magic, but to be honest, I haven't needed it. I run a lot of life abilities, so we have this on our life. Our lightning bolt will what's free, but cast on critical uses life with life tap. So the core of our mana is actually just from Orb of Storms, Frostbomb, and our buffs. So popping that and popping that and then popping that and then popping that, and you kind of burn through your mana just to get started, and then you can go into your life spam, and that kind of gives you much more survivability, and it still utilizes that 1000 mana that you have. And you'll find actually that occasionally you'll have to pop a mana flask, but this has worked out really well for me, being able to still keep my buffs up without affecting my life if I potentially run low on life. So then we also have some sockets that help us with our energy shield and our life. So things like this, I could probably drop the energy shield on focus because it's not being used, but taking the meta skills and the crit damage there has been worth it. Up here we have crit hit chance, cast speed, energy shield. Over here we have elemental damage, life on kill again, and then up here that one, and then this one has the life on kill and crit hit chance, and energy shield. So we've kind of got a lot of life on kill, and we've kind of also gone into that with our allocation on our necklace. We get increased the amount of life leech, and because life leech is instant on critical hits, it gives us a little bit of life leech slower over time, and our crit is at 90%. So we're running 90% crit, which gives us 10% buffer. So we will still get 10% life leech back over time, but that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to run a couple of minutes of this map just to sort of show you guys, like, we just don't fall over. This tier 15 with 3 gold tablets, and you can almost hold W the whole way through. I have just changed my look filter, so I'm not sure how this is even going to go, but and this is a stacked map. Like, it's not tier 16, it's just a normal tier 15 map with 6 mods, and it's corrupted, and all we're trying to do is just, I can do some map guides later, but this is just to give you guys an idea. You can see, like, we get our orbs from life, and that keeps us at full life, if not over cap. With our buffs, we go to nearly 55k on our spark, which is more than enough to take out pretty much every boss. Yes, it's not perfectly optimized, but yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know. I'm potentially looking at making more helpful guides where I talk about, like, you learning the game rather than just copying a build and doing that sort of stuff. So anyway, thanks